Award to Isabel Philanthropy. Please welcome Dan Flowers, President and CEO of the Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank.
Well, hello, everyone. It's great to be here with so many splendid souls and so many great food bankers, which in our world is a honor to be called a food banker, and I'm honored to have an opportunity to talk about one outstanding food banker today. And I'm delighted to have what I believe is the best place on the agenda for the program, the opportunity to introduce the Children in Philanthropy Award honoree. There's a rich history and tradition here at the National Philanthropy Day around this award, and part of that tradition is the annual stuffing of the pigs. So as you sit and listen to the story of this incredible young lady, please remember to reach into your hearts and into your wallets and stuff the pigs on your tables for the charity of her choosing. Change is fine, but bills are better, right? So dig deep, everybody, and you can do that right now. Educating children on the importance of philanthropy and volunteerism and modeling that behavior to them should be a priority for all parents and educators. Too often, lessons that teach the value of giving to others take a back seat to subjects that are measured on quizzes, tests. However, this past March, these important lessons came to light for an entire school because of the efforts of a then 7, now 8-year-old little girl. Isabel Philanthropy, at that time a 2nd grader at Middle Branch Elementary in Canton, learned about her mother's participation in the Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank's Harvest for Hunger campaign. But Isabella did more than ask what she could do when she talked to her mom about that. She became the coordinator of her own Harvest for Hunger campaign and food drive and got her entire school involved. To prepare, Isabel developed a campaign timeline and a business plan. She read the food bank's entire annual report and made presentations to her principal and teachers. Then she encouraged participation. She wrote a letter to her fellow students asking them to help by making food donations. Isabel also made morning announcements at her school reminding students to bring in non-perishable food items for the drive. And get this, under Isabel's leadership, the students of Middle Branch Elementary collected 1,337 pounds of food, the equivalent of over 1,000 meals for those in need in our community. Because of her positive actions and leadership in the fight against hunger, the food bank named Isabel the 2010 Young Harvester. Isabel is the first recipient of this award, and when asked why she wanted to participate in the Harvest for Hunger campaign, her response was, because kids shouldn't have to go to bed hungry. Because kids shouldn't have to go to bed hungry. Isabel's volunteerism doesn't stop with the food bank. She's a member of her school's Caring Club. And that club helps many other nonprofits in her community, such as the Ronald McDonald House and the Humane Society. And she doesn't shirk her academics for her philanthropy. She's a straight A student in the gifted program at Middle Branch. She's also a member of the NEO All-Star Cheer and Dance Team, who incidentally just held a food and funds drive for the food bank at Isabel's request. Isabel has a strong moral compass and takes her role in the community seriously. My friend Kevin Campman, the publisher of the Canton Repository and our 2010 Harvest for Hunger co-chair, couldn't be with us today to celebrate, but he has this to say. Isabel is a remarkable young lady. She shows compassion and empathy for others and a maturity beyond her age. I am proud to know her and will be anxious to see what other worlds she conquers as she grows up. The Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank is extremely grateful for Isabel's leadership and dedication to feed people and fight hunger in our community. The donations collected at Middle Branch Elementary had an immediate impact on the lives of many individuals and families living in poverty. All of the world's great religions can be boiled down to one essential teaching: the giving up of self. The Christian religion talks about taking on the mind of a child as the truest way of experiencing the kingdom of heaven on earth. Because in the mind of a child we see the world as it is in the now. In children we see the purest forms of humans being. This is evidenced in the fact that this young lady recently asked her mom what everyone was making such a big deal about. And I want you to know, Isabel, that we're making a big deal about you because you are a mirror, a very special mirror. And you help all of us grown-ups see something inside of ourselves that we may have lost for a while. You help us get that back. And you are a very special someone. Ladies and gentlemen, it's truly my honor to introduce to you the 2010 Children in Philanthropy Award recipient, Miss Isabel Philanthropy.
Thank you. I would like to thank Mr. Flowers and the people from the Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank. My mom, my principal, Mr. Mine, my teacher, Mrs. Martin, and my classmates at Middle Branch Elementary School for helping me with the food drive. I would also like to thank Mr. Campman for inviting my mom to the Harvest for Hunger lunch. My mom and I talked about her meeting, and she told me that there are a lot of people in our community who don't have enough food to eat. When I learned that kids go to bed hungry and grandmas sometimes have to choose between medicine and food, it made me feel very sad, and I didn't think it was fair. I decided I could help, so I told my mom I wanted to do a food drive at my school. She said I had to ask my principal. I was a little scared, but my mom said the worst thing he could say was no. I got the nerve to ask him. I told him that 1 out of 3 children goes to bed hungry and that there are more people who need food because they lost their jobs. He said yes. Then I worked on a timeline and I came up with ways to tell my classmates why it was important to support a food drive. We talked about kids being hungry. I decided we could keep track of how many cans of food each class brought in by putting cut-out plates on the wall. My class helped me make signs and cut out plates. Every day I was on the morning announcements talking about the food drive. We focused on the Super 6 most needed food items: canned tuna fish, canned vegetables, peanut butter, boxed cereal, canned soup, and canned beef stew. I even challenged my favorite 5th grade teacher's class to bring in food. They got very mad, not really, and decided the challenge was on. One student brought in 100 cans of food. By the end of 2 weeks, the entire entrance to the school was covered with plates. We collected 2,000 cans of food. When I learned that our food drive provided 1,044 meals to the community, I was so amazed and proud of my school. My class and the 5th grade class tied with the most cans. We celebrated our victories with a game of kickball and a popsicle party. I think the food drive worked so well because Mrs. Martin let us be in charge of it. She didn't think we were too young. We made posters, hung plates on the wall, and emptied filled boxes. We learned about teamwork and what it meant to help others. We could see that each day we were making a difference. One of my classmates' mom even called to tell my mom that her son, who was more interested in getting stuff for himself, was bugging her to take him shopping for food. Just last week, my friend asked me if we could do another food drive. I also think it worked so well because all children know what it's like to be hungry. I decided all of us have a wall around us that makes us afraid to do things. There's a door on that wall, and when you are not afraid, you find the key and open the door. My biggest fears were asking my principal and going on the announcements, but I opened the door with the help of my mom, Mrs. Martin, and my friends. They told me I could do it even though it was hard. The first time I was on the announcements, I didn't do very good, but Mrs. Martin made me feel better and gave me the encouragement to try again. It got easier each day. By doing this food drive, I learned the food bank is a really cool place and the people who work there are really nice. I learned how to work with different types of people, and I met students and teachers I normally wouldn't meet. I also learned about my community. I think it's important to let children get involved in their own way and not let the adults do all the work. Through the food drive, I learned 3 very important lessons. Number 1, the worst thing that could happen is that someone will say no. That's when you have to go to plan B. Number 2, it doesn't matter how young, old, small, tall, big, or what color you are, you can make a difference. The most important one. Number 3, everyone has a key to the door. It's your heart. Thank you.